Well, we're finally at our last video for our Love Feast Invitation series, and that means the last movement that we're going to talk about is communion. And for the Church of the Brethren, communion is a little different than some other churches. The Church of the Brethren doesn't believe in transubstantiation, which is when the actual elements of bread and cup are transitioned into the body and blood of Christ. Instead, the Church of the Brethren focuses a little differently and really emphasizes the need to take communion in community. And we talk about communion being not only an act where we are coming together and taking these elements, but the fact that we're doing it together is the significant part. The communion of being with one another is the important part of when brethren take communion. And what happens during that time is the people that are taking communion together actually, in that act of taking communion, become the body of Christ. So there is a transition that is taking place in the act of doing communion, but it's not, for us, it's not the elements that are transitioning into the body and blood, but it's the gathered people that are doing this act together that's transitioning us into the body of Christ.
So think about it in terms of worship. We invite you into the sanctuary space right now to think about communion as a form of worship. When we come to worship, we come as individuals. I come to worship for my own piety. I come to grow deeper in faith, to learn more about Christ, to go deeper. However, you can't ignore that I join in with all these other people that fill these pews. And they are as much a part of my worship experience as I am. It's not all me and God. It's about all of us bringing all of our voices together in prayer, in song. It's about those opportunities to shake a hand, to smile at one another, to share our lives with each other, to share our joys and concerns so that we can be in prayer for one another during the week. Worship is really, it's a communal event. And so, likewise, communion is a communal event. We don't just ingest the bread and the cup for our own benefit, for our own spiritual benefit, but we do that together because when we all take in the body and the blood of Christ, we all become the body of Christ. I can't do that on my own, but if I break bread with all of these people, we're getting a lot closer. So that's the beauty of a brethren experiencing communion together. Together, we can be closer to the body of Christ. So, Love Feast is only a couple days away. And Audrey, did you get my invitation?
I did. Yeah, it's actually an invitation to, well, you. And if we open it up, it's, it's an invitation to Love Feast. You are invited to Love Feast. And for us here at the Hagerstown Church of the Brethren, that's this Thursday at 7. But I know there are other churches that have been watching these videos too, so take note of when your Love Feast is, and we hope to see you there in this meaningful expression that the Church of the Brethren does, where we can commune with God and with one another. So we'll see you then.
See you there.